Good evening. Welcome. Tonight, we will journey together through a narrative of profound wisdom and inner peace. This story of the Buddha's enlightenment under the Bodhi tree offers a timeless map for navigating the landscape of our own minds, guiding us toward deep relaxation and contemplative insight. Before we truly begin, if your heart feels inclined, consider sharing which country you are listening from and what time it is there. From which part of the world do you breathe with us this quiet moment? This is a sanctuary for inner cultivation, designed to nourish the spirit and quiet the busy mind. Here, you are invited to simply exist, to breathe, and to allow these words to gently lead you inward. There is nothing you need to achieve, nothing you need to fix. You already carry all that is essential within you. We are simply here to remember the profound peace that resides inherently in your being. Should these words resonate deeply within your heart, please return whenever you seek this silent encounter. If you wish to keep this harbor of tranquility close, consider subscribing to ensure this peaceful space remains readily accessible. Now, take a soft, deep breath and allow yourself to be fully present. The Prince's Disquiet, Seeds of Awakening. Long ago, nestled within the verdant plains of ancient India, in the prosperous kingdom of Kapilavastu, lived a young prince named Siddhartha Gautama. His days unfolded within the gilded walls of his magnificent palace, a place meticulously crafted by his father, King Suddhodana, to shield him from every conceivable form of suffering. The air he breathed was perfumed with exotic flowers, his ears soothed by the gentle strumming of lutes and the laughter of beautiful dancers. Every need was anticipated, every desire met before it even fully formed in his mind. He knew only beauty, youth, and endless pleasure. His world a perfectly curated tapestry of joy, designed to prevent any glimpse of the harsh realities beyond the palace gates. Yet, beneath this veneer of perfection, a subtle current of unease, a quiet questioning, began to stir within his young heart. A faint whisper that there was something more, something deeper, awaiting discovery. Despite the lavishness, a growing restlessness began to take root in Siddhartha's spirit. His father's efforts to protect him from the world's harshness were absolute. He was not allowed to see the sick, the old, or the dead. However, as fate would have it, during carefully orchestrated excursions outside the palace, glimpses of unavoidable truths pierced through the royal illusion. On 4 separate occasions, encounters known as the 4 sights profoundly shook his sheltered existence. First, he saw an old man, frail and bent with age, his body a testament to decay. Then, a person racked with disease, groaning in pain, revealed the fragility of health. The third sight was a funeral procession, a lifeless body being carried away, confronting him with the inevitability of death, a stark reminder of impermanence anicca. These initial encounters left Siddhartha deeply troubled, his mind grappling with the stark contrast between his protected life and the universal suffering he had witnessed. His understanding of the world shattered, revealing a layer of dukkha, dissatisfaction and suffering that he had never known existed. The vibrant colors of his palace now seemed muted, the sweet music hollow. He pondered the fleeting nature of youth and beauty, realizing that even his own privileged existence was not immune to the relentless march of time and decay. The weight of these observations settled heavily upon his spirit, sowing the first seeds of a profound spiritual quest, a yearning for liberation from this cycle of inevitable pain and loss. His heart ached with a deep, silent question. Was there no escape from this universal predicament? Then came the fourth sight, a serene ascetic, a wandering monk whose calm demeanor and radiant peace stood in stark contrast to the suffering Siddhartha had witnessed. This figure, with his humble bowl and tranquil gaze, seemed utterly untouched by the world's woes, embodying a profound inner freedom. This encounter sparked a glimmer of hope within Siddhartha, revealing a potential path, a way to transcend the suffering that had so deeply disturbed him. The ascetic's quiet dignity suggested a different kind of wealth, a richness of spirit far beyond any material possessions or royal power. This image lingered in his mind, a beacon of possibility in the face of the overwhelming truth of impermanence and dissatisfaction. The stark reality of the four sights profoundly reshaped Siddhartha's perception of existence. He could no longer find solace in the fleeting pleasures of his princely life. The laughter of his court, the beauty of his gardens, the comfort of his chambers, all now felt hollow, a temporary distraction from the pervasive suffering that awaited all beings. A deep longing for a truth beyond these superficialities began to consume him, a profound trishna, not for worldly desires, but for understanding the root cause of dukkha and finding a way to its cessation, nirodha. His heart yearned for a path that would lead not to more temporary joys, but to an enduring peace, a liberation from the endless cycle of birth, aging, sickness, and death. His mind was filled with contemplations on anicca, the truth of impermanence, and the inescapable nature of dukkha. He began to question the very fabric of his existence, the purpose of his life, and the meaning of happiness. The beautiful illusions of his youth had been irrevocably shattered, replaced by a profound sense of urgency to seek a deeper wisdom. He spent sleepless nights pondering the plight of humanity, feeling a burgeoning sense of compassion, karuna, for all beings caught in the relentless grip of suffering. This disquiet was not a torment, but rather a sacred calling, an undeniable pull towards a higher purpose, a quest for ultimate freedom and enlightenment. The contrast between the transient joys of his palace and the profound peace of the ascetic highlighted a fundamental inadequacy in his current life. He realized that true contentment, a genuine sense of sufficiency, could not be found in external circumstances or material abundance. This understanding, born from observation and deep reflection, began to dismantle the foundations of his sheltered world. He saw that the pursuit of fleeting pleasures only led to more craving, more tanha, and ultimately more dissatisfaction. The path to lasting happiness, he intuited, lay not in accumulating more, but in understanding and letting go, in embracing a life of no apego, non-attachment. Siddhartha's heart swelled with a profound sense of purpose, a clear realization that his destiny lay beyond the confines of his royal duties. The comfortable life he had known now felt like a gilded cage, preventing him from exploring the deeper truths that called to him. He understood that to truly liberate himself and potentially others from dukkha, he would have to embark on a radical transformation, shedding his identity as a prince and embracing the unknown. This was not a decision made lightly, but one born of deep conviction and an unshakable resolve to pursue the ultimate freedom, a state of nirvana which he felt stirring faintly within his soul. This growing disquiet, far from being a negative experience, was in fact the initial spark of his spiritual awakening. It was the catalyst that would propel him from a life of worldly comfort into an arduous yet ultimately liberating journey. The seeds of wisdom, prajna, had been sown, nurtured by the silent observation of life's fundamental truths. He was on the precipice of a decision that would not only change his own life, but would ultimately illuminate a path for countless others seeking release from suffering. His princely existence, though comfortable, could no longer contain the vastness of his burgeoning spiritual aspiration. The longing within Siddhartha's heart grew into an undeniable call to action. He knew, with a certainty that transcended all logic, that he must leave his palace and embark on a solitary quest for truth. This profound transformation, this great renunciation, was not an act of rejection, but an embrace of a deeper, more meaningful existence. He prepared himself mentally and emotionally for the radical shift, for the shedding of all that was familiar and comfortable, in pursuit of an answer to the universal questions of suffering and liberation. And so, with a heart brimming with determination and a mind focused on the ultimate goal, he prepared for the momentous step of leaving his royal life behind, a decisive leap of faith into the unknown, a journey we will explore next. The Great Renunciation, a leap of faith. One serene night under the soft glow of the moon, Siddhartha made the most momentous decision of his life. The palace, usually a vibrant hub of activity, was hushed, its occupants deep in slumber. He gazed upon his sleeping wife, Yasodhara, and his infant son, Rahula, his heart heavy with both love and the profound conviction that he must leave them. This was not an act of abandonment, but an act of immense compassion, metta, born from the realization that true liberation for himself could ultimately benefit all beings, including his beloved family. The weight of his purpose, the quest to understand dukkha and find nirvana, outweighed even the deepest personal attachments, embodying a profound commitment to non-attachment, no apego, a principle that would define his future path. With a quiet resolve, Siddhartha left the palace, accompanied only by his loyal charioteer, Channa, and his horse, Kanthaka. They rode far into the night, away from the familiar comforts and expectations of his royal life. As dawn painted the sky with soft hues, they reached the banks of the Anoma River, a tranquil waterway flowing through a secluded forest. Here, Siddhartha dismounted, standing at a crossroads between his past and his destined future. The cool morning air carried the scent of wild blossoms and damp earth, a stark contrast to the perfumed air of his chambers, marking the beginning of his true journey towards self-discovery and freedom from tanha, the craving that binds. It was here, by the river's edge, that Siddhartha performed a deeply symbolic act. He took his sword and with a decisive motion cut off his long, princely hair. This was more than a physical change. It was a profound renunciation of his identity as a prince, a shedding of all worldly ties and expectations. The act symbolized his commitment to the life of a wandering ascetic, a seeker of truth, free from the trappings of status and ego. He exchanged his rich garments for simple robes, embracing a life of humility and simplicity. This cutting of ties was a physical manifestation of his internal resolve to let go, to truly embrace the path of freedom from attachment. He then sent Channa and Kanthaka back to the palace, knowing that their return would signify his departure to his family and kingdom. The farewell was poignant, a silent acknowledgement of the sacrifices being made for a greater cause. Standing alone by the river, Siddhartha was no longer Prince Siddhartha. He was now a homeless wanderer, a mendicant, stripped of all worldly possessions and titles. This radical act of letting go, of embracing vacuity, sunyata, in his external life, mirrored the inner space he was creating for profound spiritual insight. He was ready to face the world, not as a ruler, but as a seeker of the ultimate Dharma. This great renunciation was not an escape from responsibility, but a profound acceptance of a higher one, to find the solution to universal suffering. He understood that true leadership, true compassion, karuna, could only emerge from a place of deep wisdom, prajna, gained through personal experience and profound insight. His journey was a testament to the idea that true freedom begins with the courage to shed what no longer serves our highest purpose, even if it means stepping into the unknown and embracing a life of intentional simplicity. He understood that the path to nirvana required a radical shift in perspective, a complete reorientation of his life's priorities. The decision to leave his family and kingdom was perhaps the most difficult, yet most essential step on his path. It demonstrated his unwavering commitment to the quest for enlightenment, understanding that the deepest truths often demand the greatest sacrifices. This act of selflessness, driven by a boundless metta for all beings, underscored his dedication to finding a universal remedy for dukkha. He was willing to endure hardship, solitude, and uncertainty, knowing that the ultimate prize was not personal gain, but the liberation of all sentient beings from the bonds of tanha and trishna, the relentless cravings that perpetuate suffering. His new life as a wandering ascetic was one of profound humility and observation. He walked the dusty roads of ancient India, carrying only a begging bowl, relying on the generosity of strangers for sustenance. He slept under trees, in caves, or in abandoned buildings, embracing the elements and the raw reality of existence. This deliberate choice to live simply, free from the distractions of comfort and luxury, allowed his mind to focus entirely on his spiritual quest. Every step, every breath became an act of presence plena, mindfulness, as he observed the world around him and the workings of his own mind, seeking the true nature of reality. The silence of the wilderness, broken only by the chirping of birds or the rustling of leaves, became his new classroom. He learned to listen, not just with his ears, but with his entire being, to the subtle rhythms of life and the whispers of his inner wisdom. This period of his journey was crucial for cultivating a deep sense of equanimity, a balanced mind unaffected by external conditions. He was shedding the layers of conditioned existence, moving closer to his nature original, the unadorned essence of his being, patiently preparing for the profound insights that lay ahead on his path to awakening. The great renunciation was a radical act of faith, a trust in the unseen path. It was a testament to the power of inner conviction over external circumstance. Siddhartha's journey from prince to pauper was a deliberate and conscious choice, an embodiment of the principle of soltar, letting go in its most profound sense. He was not running from anything, but running towards something infinitely greater, the ultimate truth, the Dharma, that would set himself and all beings free. This profound commitment to the path of liberation set the stage for the rigorous spiritual practices he would soon undertake as he sought guidance from the most renowned teachers of his time. His journey as a wandering ascetic began with a clear purpose: to seek out wise teachers and master the various spiritual disciplines prevalent in his era. He was ready to immerse himself fully in the quest, to push the boundaries of his understanding and experience. This period of intense learning and practice would challenge him in ways he could not yet imagine, leading him to explore the very limits of human endurance and spiritual discipline as he embarked on the rigorous path of asceticism, searching for the ultimate freedom from dukkha, the path of asceticism, seeking through extremes. Having embraced the life of a wandering ascetic, Siddhartha sought out the most respected spiritual teachers of his time, eager to absorb their wisdom and master their techniques. He first studied under Alara Kalama, a master of meditation who taught him profound states of concentration, samadhi, reaching levels of formless absorption. Siddhartha quickly excelled, mastering these practices with remarkable ease, achieving what his teacher considered the highest states of consciousness. Yet, even in these deep meditative states, he found that the root of suffering, dukkha, remained, albeit temporarily obscured. He realized that while these practices brought temporary peace, they did not offer a permanent solution to the fundamental questions of existence and the cycle of rebirth, karma. Dissatisfied with the temporary nature of these attainments, Siddhartha moved on, seeking a teacher who could lead him to a more complete liberation. He then studied under Uddaka Ramaputta, another renowned master, who taught even more subtle and profound levels of meditative absorption. Again, Siddhartha quickly reached the pinnacle of his teacher's teachings, achieving states of consciousness beyond ordinary comprehension. However, just as before, he found that these states, while blissful, did not fully extinguish the flames of craving, tanha, nor did they provide the ultimate insight into the nature of anatta, no self, or the path to nirvana. He acknowledged the value of concentration, but knew he needed something more. Realizing that even the most advanced meditative techniques of his time did not offer the ultimate release, Siddhartha decided to embark on an even more rigorous path, extreme asceticism. He joined a group of 5 ascetics, including Kaundinya, who believed that enlightenment could only be achieved through severe self-mortification and the complete suppression of the body's desires. This was a common belief among many spiritual seekers of that era, who saw the body as an impediment to spiritual progress, a source of trishna and attachment that needed to be utterly subdued. Siddhartha, with his unwavering resolve, committed himself fully to these practices, pushing his physical and mental limits beyond what most humans could endure. His practices became increasingly austere. He would fast for days, even weeks, on end, consuming only a single grain of rice or a few drops of water. His body became emaciated, his bones protruding, his skin stretched tautly over his frame. He endured extreme temperatures, sitting exposed to the scorching sun during the day and the freezing nights without shelter or comfort. He deprived himself of sleep, pushing his mind to its absolute limits, believing that by conquering the body's demands, he could unlock the secrets of liberation. He practiced mindfulness sati, even in these extreme conditions, observing the sensations of his body and the thoughts arising in his mind with profound equanimity. He would hold his breath for extended periods, enduring excruciating pain, believing that this too would purify his spirit and lead to deeper insights. The physical suffering was immense, yet his resolve remained unbroken. He was determined to test every possible avenue, every extreme, in his relentless pursuit of the Dharma. His fellow ascetics looked upon him with awe, convinced that he was on the verge of achieving ultimate enlightenment. So profound was his dedication and his capacity for endurance. He was a living testament to the human spirit's capacity for extreme discipline, driven by a singular, unwavering purpose. During this period, Siddhartha delved deeply into the observation of his own suffering, dukkha, that arose from these extreme practices. He meticulously observed the sensations of hunger, thirst, pain, and exhaustion, not clinging to them, nor pushing them away, but simply observing them with a detached awareness, a form of vipassana. He realized that while he was causing immense suffering to his body, his mind, though disciplined, was still not fully free. The The core questions of existence, the nature of self, anatta, and the path to true liberation, nirvana, remained elusive, despite his heroic efforts and the extraordinary self-deprivation he endured. One day, as he sat in deep meditation, his body weakened to the point of collapse. He overheard a musician teaching a student about tuning a lute. The musician explained that if the strings were too tight, they would break. If they were too loose, they would not produce music. They needed to be just right, a middle ground. This simple analogy sparked a profound realization within Siddhartha. He understood that his path of extreme asceticism was akin to tightening the strings too much. It was breaking his body and mind, making true insight impossible. This moment was a pivotal shift in his understanding of the path. He recognized that the body, far from being an enemy, was a vehicle for awakening. To abuse it to the point of collapse was counterproductive to the cultivation of wisdom, prajna, and concentration, samadhi. The lesson of the lute resonated deeply, revealing the need for a balanced approach, a middle way that avoided the extremes of both indulgence and deprivation. This was a radical departure from the prevailing spiritual practices of his time, a moment of profound clarity that would forever alter the course of his quest and the future of Buddhist thought. This insight marked the beginning of his departure from extreme asceticism. He understood that true liberation was not found by fighting against the body or by inflicting pain, but by nurturing a balanced relationship with it, by treating it with care and respect. This shift in perspective was a crucial step towards understanding the Nobre Camino Octuplo, which emphasizes balance in all aspects of life. He realized that the path to awakening required a mind that was clear and strong, not one weakened by starvation and exhaustion, fostering a sense of contentamento and sufficiency in his practice. Having exhausted the path of extreme asceticism and found it wanting, Siddhartha knew he had to forge his own way, a path of balance and wisdom. He began to recover his strength, accepting nourishment, much to the dismay of his ascetic companions who saw this as a sign of weakness. But Siddhartha knew he was moving closer to the true Dharma, preparing for the profound insights that would soon unfold under the sacred Bodhi tree. His journey had led him through extremes, ultimately guiding him towards the discovery of a path of moderation and deep inner wisdom, which he would soon embody. Discovering the middle way, a balanced path. Weakened and emaciated from his extreme austerities, Siddhartha realized the futility of self-mortification. His body, once strong and vibrant, was now a mere shadow, barely able to sustain him. He understood that a mind clouded by physical pain and exhaustion could not achieve the clarity required for deep insight, prajna. This profound realization, born from direct experience of dukkha, led him to abandon the ascetic practices that had defined his spiritual quest for so long. He knew he needed to regain his strength, not for indulgence, but to create a stable foundation for true meditative concentration, samadhi, and the cultivation of wisdom. This was a crucial turning point, a step towards a more balanced and effective approach to liberation. As he slowly began to regain his strength, a pivotal moment occurred. A young village woman named Sujata, noticing his frail condition and radiant aura, approached him with a bowl of milk rice. She had prepared this offering to the tree spirit she believed inhabited the sacred fig tree under which Siddhartha often meditated, hoping for a child. Seeing Siddhartha, she mistook him for the tree deity himself and presented him with the nourishing food. The aroma of the warm rice, sweetened with milk and honey, was an unfamiliar comfort after years of deprivation. This simple act of kindness, born of pure intention, provided not just physical sustenance, but also a profound spiritual lesson, embodying metta. Siddhartha accepted the offering, and as he consumed the rich, creamy rice, a wave of vital energy flowed through his weakened body. This act of nourishment, though seemingly ordinary, held immense symbolic significance. It represented a conscious turning away from the path of extreme self-denial and an embrace of a more balanced, sustainable approach to spiritual practice. He felt a renewed sense of strength and clarity, his mind becoming sharper, less clouded by the constant gnawing of hunger and pain. This simple meal became a testament to the wisdom of the middle way, a path that honored the body as a sacred vessel for awakening rather than an obstacle to be overcome. His 5 ascetic companions, who had witnessed his extreme austerities with admiration, were dismayed by his decision to accept food. They saw it as a sign of weakness, a betrayal of the rigorous path they all shared. Believing he had abandoned his quest for enlightenment by returning to worldly comforts, they departed from him, leaving Siddhartha alone once more. This separation, though initially isolating, was a necessary step, freeing him from the expectations and dogmas of others, allowing him to forge his own unique path, unburdened by external judgments. He understood that his journey was his alone, guided by his inner wisdom and a growing sense of self-compassion, karuna. This period of solitary reflection solidified Siddhartha's understanding of the middle way. He realized that neither extreme indulgence, as experienced in his princely youth, nor extreme asceticism, as practiced in the forest, led to true liberation. Both were forms of dukkha rooted in attachment to pleasure in one case, and attachment to the idea of suffering as a means to an end in the other. True freedom, he understood, lay in finding a harmonious balance, a path that transcended these dualities, cultivating a mind that was neither swayed by craving tanha nor aversion, but rested in a state of equanimity and presence plena. The middle way, he intuited, was a path of moderation, where the body is neither pampered nor punished, but cared for as a tool for spiritual practice. It meant cultivating a mind that was alert and clear, not dulled by excess or weakened by deprivation. This approach allowed for the development of mindfulness, sati, and concentration, samadhi, without the distractions of physical discomfort or the intoxicating allure of sensory pleasures. It was a path of sufficiency, recognizing that true contentment arises not from external conditions, but from an inner state of balance and wisdom, prajna. This profound insight, born from years of intense seeking and personal experience, was a pivotal moment in Siddhartha's journey. It was a radical departure from many of the prevailing spiritual philosophies of his time, which often advocated for extreme practices. The middle way emphasized practicality, balance, and a deep understanding of the human condition, recognizing that liberation was accessible not through self-inflicted torment, but through a clear, compassionate, and disciplined approach to life. It was a path that honored the natural flow of existence, embracing Wu Wei, effortless action, in his spiritual endeavor. He understood that the path to awakening was not about transcending the human experience by denying it, but by engaging with it fully, mindfully, and with wisdom. It meant observing the arising and passing of all phenomena, anicca, without clinging to them, and without forming a fixed sense of self, anatta. The middle way was a path of acceptance, embracing life's challenges and joys with an open heart and a clear mind, cultivating a deep sense of peace interior, an inner sanctuary of calm amidst the world's ever-changing currents. With renewed strength and a profound clarity of purpose, Siddhartha set his sights on a new destination. He knew that the answers he sought were not to be found in external teachers or extreme practices, but within the depths of his own being. The middle way had provided him with the perfect foundation, a stable and balanced platform from which to launch his final, most profound meditative endeavor. He was ready to sit, to observe, and to penetrate the ultimate truths of existence, free from the distractions of both indulgence and deprivation, trusting in his own inner guidance. He walked towards a tranquil spot, a place where he instinctively felt the culmination of his journey awaited him. The air was calm, the surroundings peaceful, as if the very earth was preparing itself for a momentous event. With a heart full of resolve and a mind clear from the extremes of his past, he approached the sacred fig tree, ready to make his final, unwavering stand in the quest for ultimate liberation, a profound commitment to presence and deep insight. Under the Bodhi tree, unwavering resolve. Siddhartha arrived at a serene grove near the Niranjana river, a place of profound natural beauty and quietude. Here, he found a majestic fig tree, its branches spreading wide, offering generous shade. This tree, later to be known as the Bodhi tree, meaning the tree of awakening, seemed to emanate a powerful, inviting stillness. Its roots delved deep into the earth, symbolizing stability and grounding, while its leaves rustled gently in the breeze, whispering ancient secrets. Siddhartha felt an undeniable pull towards this spot, an intuitive sense that this was the place where his long and arduous quest would finally reach its culmination, a sacred pause in his journey. With a heart filled with unwavering resolve, Siddhartha sat down beneath the Bodhi tree. He arranged himself in the lotus position, a posture of stability and deep concentration, samadhi. His back was straight, his gaze steady, his breath flowing in and out with a quiet rhythm. He made a solemn vow, a profound commitment to himself and to all sentient beings. Let my skin, sinews, and bones dry up, together with all the flesh and blood of my body. I will not stir from this seat until I have attained the supreme and absolute enlightenment. This was not a vow born of ego, but of a deep, compassionate desire to find the path to end dukkha for all. This vow represented the pinnacle of his determination, a complete surrender to the process of awakening, free from any attachment to outcome, no apego. He was prepared to remain in that spot, through day and night, through comfort and discomfort, until he penetrated the ultimate nature of reality. His mind, now clear and balanced thanks to the middle way, was a finely tuned instrument, ready to perceive the subtlest truths. He had shed all external distractions, all preconceived notions, and was now fully present, immersed in the vastness of the moment, cultivating a profound state of shikantaza, just sitting. As he sat, his mind began to settle into deeper and deeper states of concentration. The external world faded, and his awareness turned inward, focusing on the breath, anapanasati. Each inhalation and exhalation became an anchor, grounding him in the present moment, fostering a profound sense of mindfulness sati. He observed the arising and passing of thoughts and sensations without judgment, allowing them to come and go like clouds in the sky, cultivating a serene equanimity. This was the practice of vipassana, observing reality as it is, without clinging or aversion, without trishna. The stillness under the Bodhi tree was profound, yet it was not an empty stillness. It was a vibrant, alive silence, pregnant with possibility. Siddhartha was not merely sitting, he was deeply engaged in the most profound inner exploration imaginable. He was delving into the very fabric of existence, seeking the root causes of suffering and the path to its cessation, nirodha. His entire being was focused on this singular purpose, a testament to his immense inner strength and his unwavering commitment to the Dharma, the universal law of truth. The air around him seemed to hum with a quiet energy, a sacred resonance. The leaves of the Bodhi tree rustled softly, a gentle accompaniment to his deep, rhythmic breathing. He was fully immersed in the present moment, his mind a clear mirror reflecting the true nature of reality. This profound state of concentration, samadhi, was the culmination of years of practice, a testament to his dedication to the ethical precepts, sila, and the cultivation of wisdom, prajna. He was ready to confront whatever arose, both within and without, with an open heart and an unshakable mind. His resolve was not born of stubbornness, but of a deep inner knowing, a profound trust in his own ability to awaken. He understood that the path to enlightenment was an individual journey, one that ultimately required self-reliance and an unwavering commitment to inner exploration. He had found his sanctuary, his sacred space, and he was determined to remain there until the final veil of ignorance was lifted, revealing the ultimate truth of vacuity, sunyata, and the nature original of mind, mente Buddha. The stillness of his posture was a physical manifestation of his inner peace and determination. He was a pillar of unshakable resolve, a testament to the power of the human spirit when fully committed to a higher purpose. The world around him continued its ceaseless activity, but within his inner world, a profound transformation was underway. He was cultivating a mind of no mind, mushin, utterly present and free from conceptual elaborations, ready to receive the deepest insights. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the land, Siddhartha remained perfectly still, his awareness deepening with each passing moment. The transition from day to night, from light to shadow, mirrored the profound inner journey he was undertaking, moving from the darkness of ignorance towards the brilliant light of awakening. He was entering the most critical phase of his quest, preparing to confront the deepest illusions and temptations that stood between him and ultimate liberation. The stage was set for the ultimate confrontation, not with an external enemy, but with the forces of delusion and attachment within his own mind. The peace and stillness under the Bodhi tree would soon be challenged by the formidable power of Mara, the Lord of Illusion, who sought to prevent Siddhartha from achieving his final awakening. And so, as the first stars began to appear in the darkening sky, the night of profound challenge and ultimate triumph began. Mara's first assault, the lure of desire. As Siddhartha sat in profound meditation beneath the Bodhi tree, his mind deepening into states of quiet clarity, a formidable presence began to stir in the spiritual realm. Mara, the Lord of Illusion, Temptation, and Death, sensed the imminent awakening of this dedicated seeker. Mara, whose name means destroyer, represents the forces of attachment, craving, tanha, and aversion that bind beings to the cycle of dukkha, suffering. He understood that Siddhartha's enlightenment would shatter the illusions he perpetuated, weakening his dominion over the minds of living beings. Thus, Mara launched his first, most alluring assault, attempting to lure Siddhartha away from his path with the very pleasures he had once renounced. Mara's initial strategy was to tempt Siddhartha with sensual delights, sending forth his 3 beautiful daughters, each embodying a powerful form of worldly craving, Tanha, representing desire and longing, Arati, symbolizing discontent and aversion, and Raga, embodying passion and lust. They appeared before Siddhartha, their forms radiant, their movements graceful, their voices like enchanting melodies. They danced and sang, attempting to stir within him the dormant memories of his princely life, of the comforts and pleasures he had willingly left behind. Their seductive glances and alluring gestures were designed to break his concentration, to pull him back into the intoxicating grip of worldly attachments and Trishna. The daughters of Mara used every artifice to tempt him. They whispered promises of power, fame, and endless sensory gratification. They reminded him of his beautiful wife, Yasodhara, and his beloved son, Rahula, attempting to rekindle his emotional attachments and make him doubt the wisdom of his renunciation. They painted vivid pictures of the lavish life he had abandoned, highlighting the perceived sacrifices he had made. Their aim was to awaken the seeds of desire, to make him question his path and succumb to the allure of the familiar, to the comfort of what he had once known, thereby pulling him away from the profound peace interior he was cultivating. Siddhartha, however, remained utterly unperturbed. His mind, honed by years of disciplined practice and guided by the wisdom of the middle way, observed their seductive performance with profound equanimity. He saw their beauty, heard their enchanting voices, and felt the subtle stirrings of old desires, but he did not cling to them. He simply observed them as ephemeral phenomena, manifestations of craving, understanding their impermanence, anicca, and their ultimate lack of inherent satisfaction, dukkha. His awareness, a steady flame, acknowledged their presence without being consumed by their allure, embodying a profound sense of no apego, non-attachment. He recognized these temptations as mere illusions, reflections of the very attachments he sought to transcend. His deep concentration, samadhi, allowed him to see through the superficial glamour to the underlying nature of these desires. They were transient, ultimately unsatisfying, and bound to lead to further suffering. He did not engage with them, did not push them away with aversion, but simply allowed them to arise and pass, like clouds drifting across a clear sky. His mind was like a still lake, reflecting the moonlight, without being disturbed by any ripples. A perfect example of observation, ekanime, vipassana. The daughters of Mara, frustrated by their inability to sway him, eventually faded away, their seductive power rendered inert by Siddhartha's unwavering presence, plena, mindfulness. They realized that their usual tactics, which ensnared so many, had no hold over a mind so deeply rooted in wisdom, prajna, and freedom from attachment. Siddhartha had seen through the illusion of desire, understanding that true happiness does not lie in the gratification of cravings, but in their complete cessation, nirodha. He had cultivated a mind that was contentamento, sufficient in itself, needing nothing external to complete it. His victory over Mara's daughters was a testament to the power of the Noble Eightfold Path, particularly right mindfulness and right concentration. By observing desires without judgment or engagement, he demonstrated the path to liberation from Trishna. He understood that desires are not inherently evil, but clinging to them creates dukkha. His practice of soltar, letting go, was so profound that even the most potent temptations held no sway. This profound moment reinforced his conviction in the Dharma, strengthening his resolve for the trials yet to come. Through this challenge, Siddhartha deepened his understanding of the nature of attachment and craving, tanha. He saw how subtly and powerfully they can manifest, even in the most disciplined mind. Yet, he also realized the immense power of conscious awareness and equanimity to disarm these forces. This experience further solidified his commitment to the path of liberation, reaffirming that the true enemy was not external, but the internal forces of ignorance and grasping, which lead to the cycle of karma. The first assault of Mara, though seemingly subtle, was a crucial test. It confirmed Siddhartha's mastery over the allure of sensory pleasures and his profound understanding of no apego. He had proven that his renunciation was not merely an act of outward austerity, but a deep, internal transformation. His mind was now even more steadfast, prepared for the next, more aggressive onslaught that Mara, ever persistent, would soon unleash, targeting his deepest fears and doubts, a true test of his inner resolve and the strength of his mentor Buddha. Having failed to seduce Siddhartha with pleasure, Mara knew he had to resort to more aggressive tactics. The serene stillness beneath the Bodhi tree was about to be shattered by a tempest of fear and aggression, designed to break the meditator's spirit through intimidation. The next challenge would be a direct assault on his inner peace, manifesting his deepest anxieties and insecurities, a formidable test of his equanimity and his understanding of anatta. Mara's second assault, the shadows of fear and doubt. Undeterred by his initial failure to tempt Siddhartha with desires, Mara swiftly escalated his attack, shifting from seduction to intimidation. He summoned his vast army of terrifying demons, grotesque figures with menacing weapons, fiery eyes, and terrifying roars. They surrounded Siddhartha beneath the Bodhi tree, creating a cacophony of sound and a whirlwind of fear. These demons were not mere external entities. They were projections of Siddhartha's own deepest fears, doubts, and anxieties, manifesting as a formidable psychological assault, designed to shatter his inner peace and break his concentration, samadhi. The demons hurled spears, arrows, and rocks at Siddhartha, their faces contorted with rage. They shrieked insults, attempting to erode his self-worth and sow seeds of doubt about his quest. Yet, as each weapon flew towards him, it miraculously transformed into beautiful flowers, showering gently around him. This wondrous transformation was not a magical trick, but a manifestation of Siddhartha's profound state of metta, loving kindness, and karuna, compassion. His boundless goodwill towards all beings, even those attempting to harm him, disarmed the aggression and transmuted their malicious intent into harmless beauty. Mara himself, riding on his elephant, Girimakala, led the charge, his voice booming, questioning Siddhartha's right to seek enlightenment. He sought to undermine Siddhartha's conviction, whispering doubts about his worthiness, reminding him of his past actions and potential shortcomings. These were the internal dialogues of self-judgment and insecurity, amplified by Mara's power, aiming to create internal dukkha and shatter his presence plana. The onslaught was relentless, a test of his mental fortitude and his unwavering trust in the path he had chosen. Siddhartha remained steadfast, his posture unwavering, his mind a fortress of peace. He did not react with fear, anger, or aversion. Instead, he observed the terrifying spectacle with profound equanimity, vipassana. He recognized the demons as mere illusions, products of Mara's deceptive power, and reflections of his own mind's potential for fear and doubt. He understood that these manifestations were impermanent, anicca, and lacked any inherent reality. His awareness, clear and unclouded, simply witnessed the storm without being swept away by it, a true practice of observing economy. He knew that engaging with fear or fighting against it would only give it more power. Instead, he met the assault with a profound sense of inner stillness and non-resistance, embodying Wu Wei, effortless action. His practice of no apego extended even to the most terrifying phenomena, allowing them to appear, exist, and dissolve without clinging or repulsion. This profound acceptance, coupled with his deep compassion for all beings, including Mara and his army, created an impenetrable shield around him, protecting his inner sanctuary of peace. The arrows turning into flowers was a powerful symbolic representation of the transformative power of a truly awakened heart. When one cultivates boundless metta and karuna, even hostility cannot penetrate. The mind, freed from hatred and fear, naturally transmutes negative energy into positive, harmonious vibrations. This profound insight demonstrated that the true battle is fought and won within, by cultivating inner peace and compassion, rather than by external struggle or aggression, leading to freedom interior. Mara's army, despite their ferocity, eventually grew weary and disheartened. Their weapons were useless, their threats meaningless against a mind so utterly unperturbed. They saw that their fear tactics had no effect on Siddhartha, who remained a beacon of calm amidst the storm. Their frustration mounted as they realized the futility of their efforts, their power diminished by his unwavering equanimity and his profound understanding of the impermanence of all things, including fear itself. This second assault further deepened Siddhartha's understanding of the nature of suffering and the path to liberation. He realized that fear and doubt, like desire, are ultimately illusions, mental constructs that can be overcome through mindfulness, sati, and wisdom, prajna. He had faced his deepest anxieties and emerged victorious, not by fighting them, but by observing them with detachment and compassion. This triumph solidified his conviction in the power of his own mind and the efficacy of the Dharma he was uncovering. The true victory, he might have silently reflected, is not over external enemies, but over the inner demons of fear and delusion. He had proven his mastery over the forces that seek to bind the mind, strengthening his resolve and bringing him closer to the ultimate truth. His mind was now even more refined, ready for the final, most subtle and insidious challenge Mara would present, one that targeted the very core of his identity and his right to awakening, a profound test of his understanding of anatta, no self. With the forces of fear and desire vanquished, Mara would now attempt his most cunning trick, questioning Siddhartha's very right to be called an awakened one. This final challenge would push Siddhartha to the brink, demanding a profound understanding of self and no self, ultimately leading to the earth-touching gesture and the complete dissolution of the ego's final stronghold, bringing him to the precipice of ultimate enlightenment. Mara's final challenge, the illusion of self. Having failed to sway Siddhartha with pleasure or terror, Mara launched his most insidious attack, targeting the very foundation of Siddhartha's quest, his right to enlightenment. Mara, appearing in his most formidable form, approached Siddhartha, his voice filled with scorn and challenge. "Who are you to claim this seat of awakening?" he thundered. "By what right do you sit here, aspiring to a wisdom that belongs only to the truly worthy? What good deeds have you performed? What merits have you accumulated to justify such a profound aspiration? Prove your claim, or relinquish this seat and return to the world of ordinary beings." This was a direct assault on Siddhartha's sense of self, his ego, and his worthiness, a final desperate attempt to create dukkha through doubt and self-judgment. Mara's challenge was a cunning one, designed to exploit any lingering trace of ego or self-importance. He reminded Siddhartha of his past life as a prince, of his renunciation, and of the many spiritual paths he had explored, subtly suggesting that none of these past actions truly qualified him for ultimate awakening. The essence of Mara's question was, who are you truly, beyond all your identities and experiences, to claim such a profound achievement? This probed the deepest levels of Siddhartha's being, testing his understanding of anatta, the doctrine of no self, and the vacuity, sunyata, of inherent existence. It was a moment of profound internal reckoning, demanding absolute clarity and unwavering conviction. The vast army of demons, though previously vanquished, reappeared, now echoing Mara's taunts, their voices a chorus of doubt and accusation. They questioned his purity, his sincerity, and the validity of his journey. This external clamor was a mirror to the subtle whispers of self-doubt that can arise in any spiritual seeker, especially at the threshold of a breakthrough. Siddhartha remained in his meditative posture, his eyes half closed, his breath steady. He listened to Mara's challenge, not with anger or fear, but with a profound stillness, allowing the accusations to wash over him without disturbing his inner peace, cultivating a deep sense of equanimity. Siddhartha understood that to engage in a verbal debate with Mara would be to fall into his trap, to acknowledge the illusion of a separate self that could be judged or found wanting. He knew that the true answer lay beyond words, beyond concepts, in the realm of direct experience and embodied truth. He had no external witness to call upon, no human authority to validate his claim. His journey had been a solitary one, guided by inner wisdom and an unwavering commitment to the Dharma. This moment demanded a response that transcended the ordinary, a gesture that spoke directly to the ultimate reality he was about to realize. With profound grace and absolute certainty, Siddhartha extended his right hand, turning his palm inward, and gently touched the earth with his fingertips. This was the earth-touching mudra, the Bhumi Sparsha mudra, a silent yet powerful gesture. In that moment, he called upon the earth itself to bear witness to his countless lifetimes of practice, of cultivating generosity, compassion, metta, and wisdom, prajna. He invoked the silent, enduring wisdom of the earth, the ultimate impartial witness, to testify to his unwavering resolve and his right to attain full enlightenment. This act was a profound expression of his deep connection to all existence, a recognition of the interconnectedness of all phenomena. As Siddhartha touched the earth, a deep tremor ran through the ground, and the earth responded with a resounding roar, "I bear witness." This cosmic affirmation shattered Mara's illusions and silenced his accusations. The earth, ancient and wise, acknowledged Siddhartha's profound merit, his unwavering commitment to the path, and his deep understanding of karma, the law of cause and effect. This moment symbolized the dissolution of the ego's final stronghold, the complete surrender of the illusion of a separate, individual self that needed external validation. He had transcended the need for personal merit, understanding that his awakening was for the benefit of all. Mara, utterly defeated, vanished along with his army of demons. Their power, rooted in illusion and attachment, could not stand against the undeniable truth embodied by Siddhartha's unwavering presence and the earth's silent testimony. The space beneath the Bodhi tree was once again filled with profound peace and stillness, more profound than before. The air was clear, the mind utterly liberated from the final vestiges of doubt and self-judgment. Siddhartha had faced the ultimate test of anatta, recognizing that there was no self to prove, no I to defend, only the boundless, awakened nature original of mind, Mente Buddha. This triumph over Mara's final assault was a testament to Siddhartha's complete realization of vacuity, sunyata. He had seen through the illusion of a permanent, unchanging self, understanding that all phenomena, including the sense of I, are impermanent, anicca, and interconnected. His ability to touch the earth and call upon its witness demonstrated not an assertion of ego, but a profound connection to the universal flow of existence, embodying a deep sense of contentamento and sufficiency in his being. He had truly let go, soltar, of the deepest attachments, including the attachment to the idea of a self. With Mara vanquished and his own mind utterly clear, Siddhartha entered the deepest phase of his meditation. The external world, with its temptations and fears, had faded completely. He was now free to penetrate the ultimate truths of existence, unburdened by any internal or external obstacles. The stage was set for the deepest insights, the profound realizations that would lead to his complete and perfect enlightenment, a state of nirvana, free from all dukkha and trishna. The night deepened, and as the stars glittered above, Siddhartha's mind soared into realms of profound clarity. He began to recall countless past existences, seeing the intricate tapestry of cause and effect, karma, that had led him to this very moment. This was the first of the three great knowledges that would unfold during the night of his enlightenment, revealing the vast scope of impermanence and the interconnectedness of all life. The first watch of the night, recollection of past lives. As the deep stillness settled once more beneath the Bodhi tree, Siddhartha's consciousness began to expand beyond the confines of ordinary time and space. With his mind now utterly purified and refined, free from the defilements of craving, aversion, and ignorance, he entered into the first watch of the night, a period of profound meditative insight. His awareness became boundless, unhindered by the limitations of the present moment. He began to recollect, with vivid clarity, countless past existences, seeing the intricate tapestry of his own journey through beginningless time. This was a profound experience of his own impermanence, anicca, and the ceaseless flow of conditioned existence. He saw himself in myriad forms, as a human in different lands and eras, as animals, as celestial beings, experiencing every conceivable kind of life. Each existence unfolded before his inner eye with astonishing detail, revealing the circumstances of birth, the experiences of life, and the moments of death. He witnessed the joys and sorrows, the triumphs and failures, the vast spectrum of dukkha and fleeting contentment that characterized each life. This panoramic view of his own past lives was not merely a memory, but a direct, experiential understanding of the continuous cycle of rebirth, a profound insight into the workings of karma. Through this profound recollection, Siddhartha understood the intricate web of cause and effect that governed each existence. He saw how actions performed in one life, whether wholesome or unwholesome, bore their fruits in subsequent lives, shaping circumstances, tendencies, and experiences. He recognized the profound influence of tanha, craving, and trishna, thirst, in perpetuating this cycle, driving beings from one existence to the next, fueled by attachment to self and to transient phenomena. This was a direct, irrefutable understanding of the law of karma, not as a punitive system, but as the natural, impersonal law of cause and effect that governs all conditioned existence. This knowledge was deeply liberating. He saw that there was no permanent, unchanging self, anatta, moving from one life to the next. Instead, it was a continuous stream of consciousness, a flow of interconnected moments, each arising and passing in accordance with the laws of impermanence, anicca, and dependent origination. The illusion of a fixed I began to dissolve further, replaced by the profound understanding of vacuity, sunyata, the absence of inherent independent existence in all phenomena. This insight brought a profound sense of freedom from the burden of a fixed identity. He observed how the seeds of attachment, aversion, and ignorance, sown in one life, ripened into experiences of dukkha in another. Conversely, he saw how acts of metta, compassion, karuna, and wisdom, prajna, created conditions for greater well-being and spiritual progress. This gave him an unparalleled understanding of the interconnectedness of all actions and their consequences, reinforcing the importance of cultivating ethical conduct, sila, and right intention in every moment. He understood that every thought, word, and deed contributes to the ongoing flow of karma. The recollection of past lives was not an intellectual exercise, but a direct, intuitive knowing that permeated his entire being. It was a profound awakening to the vastness of conditioned existence and the endless cycles of birth and death, samsara. This insight instilled in him an even deeper sense of urgency to find the ultimate liberation, nirvana, for himself and for all beings caught in this relentless cycle, driven by a boundless bodhisattva vow to awaken for the benefit of others. This profound experience further solidified his understanding of the impermanence of all phenomena, anicca. He saw that bodies, identities, relationships, and achievements were all transient, arising and passing away without exception. Clinging to any of these, he realized, was a source of dukkha. This deep insight into impermanence liberated him from the illusion of permanence, allowing him to rest more fully in the present moment, cultivating a state of constant presence plena. Through this first watch, Siddhartha gained an unparalleled perspective on the suffering inherent in conditioned existence. He saw that even seemingly pleasurable lives eventually gave way to loss, decay, and death. This solidified his conviction that true happiness lay beyond the cycles of rebirth and karma, in the complete cessation of craving and attachment, nirodha. He realized that the goal was not to achieve a better rebirth, but to transcend rebirth altogether, to find ultimate freedom. This deep experiential understanding of the cycle of rebirth and karma provided the perfect foundation for the next stage of his enlightenment. His mind, now fully attuned to the profound truths of existence, was ready to penetrate even deeper into the mechanisms of suffering and liberation. He had seen the vastness of the journey, and now he was prepared to understand the universal laws that governed it, moving beyond personal recollection to universal principles. As the second watch of the night began, Siddhartha's mind turned from the specific details of his own past lives to the universal laws governing the rebirth of all beings. He was about to gain insight into the intricate workings of karma and the suffering that arises from attachment, seeing how all beings are bound by their actions and intentions, a deeper understanding of dukkha, the second watch of the night, the law of karma and rebirth. As the night deepened, Siddhartha's awareness, now purified and vastly expanded, moved beyond the recollection of his own past lives to a universal vision. During the second watch, his mind penetrated the intricate workings of the law of karma, witnessing how all beings, across countless realms of existence, are bound by their actions and intentions. He saw, with profound clarity, the endless cycle of rebirth, samsara, and how beings are propelled from one existence to the next, not by chance or divine decree, but by the momentum of their own volitional actions, their karma. This was a direct, intuitive understanding of the interconnectedness of all life and the profound consequences of every choice. He observed beings dying and being reborn in various states, some ascending to heavenly realms due to their wholesome deeds, others descending to states of suffering due to their unwholesome actions. He saw how virtuous actions rooted in generosity, compassion, metta, and wisdom, prajna, led to favorable circumstances, while actions driven by greed, hatred, and delusion resulted in dukkha, dissatisfaction, and less fortunate rebirths. This was not a judgment, but a clear, dispassionate observation of the impersonal, self-regulating mechanism of the universe, a profound insight into the ethical dimensions of existence. Sila. Siddhartha understood that karma is not merely fate, but the dynamic interplay of cause and effect, an ever-unfolding process shaped by intention. He saw that every thought, word, and deed, whether conscious or unconscious, leaves an imprint, a seed, that will eventually ripen into a corresponding experience. This profound insight revealed the immense responsibility inherent in every moment, emphasizing the importance of cultivating right understanding and right thought as part of the noble eightfold path. He saw how the seeds of tanha and trishna, craving and thirst, were the primary drivers of unwholesome actions, perpetuating the cycle of suffering. He realized that the suffering experienced in any existence was not arbitrary, but a direct consequence of actions performed in past lives, driven by ignorance and attachment. Similarly, periods of happiness and ease were the ripening fruits of wholesome karma. This understanding brought a profound sense of clarity, dissolving any lingering belief in random fortune or external deities dictating destiny. It revealed the profound truth that beings are the architects of their own experiences, continually shaping their future through their present actions and intentions. This underscored the importance of developing a keen awareness and presence plana in every moment. This vision of karma and rebirth was deeply humbling and liberating. It dissolved the illusion of a fixed, isolated self anatta, understanding that what we perceive as self is a continuous stream of conditioned phenomena, constantly changing and evolving in response to past and present karma. He saw that the sense of I was a process, not a static entity, and that clinging to this illusion of a fixed self was a primary source of dukkha, perpetuating the cycle of rebirth. This profound insight into vacuity, sunyata, freed his mind even further from conceptual limitations. The intricate web of karma unfolded before him, revealing how seemingly small actions could have far-reaching consequences across lifetimes. He understood that liberation from this cycle, nirvana, was not about escaping responsibility for one's actions, but about transcending the very impulses that generate unwholesome karma. It was about cultivating a mind free from craving, aversion, and delusion, a mind that acted from wisdom, prajna, and compassion, karuna, thereby ceasing the creation of new binding karma. This was a direct application of the principle of no apego, non-attachment, to the very fabric of existence. Siddhartha observed how ignorance, the lack of true insight into the nature of reality, was the fundamental root of all unwholesome karma. It was this ignorance that fueled craving, tanha, and attachment, leading to actions that perpetuated dukkha. He realized that true liberation required not just ethical conduct, sila, but a deep, penetrating wisdom that understood the impermanent, anicca, and no self, anatta, nature of all phenomena. This insight was crucial for understanding the first of the Four Noble Truths, the truth of suffering. The profound scope of this vision instilled in Siddhartha an even greater sense of urgency and compassion. He saw the immense suffering that all beings endured, caught in the relentless grip of karma and rebirth, driven by their own unskillful actions and attachments. His heart swelled with metta, a boundless loving kindness, and karuna, a deep empathetic sorrow for the plight of all sentient life. He knew that the Dharma he was uncovering was not just for his own liberation, but a universal path to freedom for all who were ready to listen and practice. This second watch culminated in a complete and comprehensive understanding of the cycle of rebirth and the law of karma. Siddhartha had penetrated the deep causal mechanisms that perpetuate conditioned existence, seeing how suffering arises from craving and attachment, and how liberation is possible through the cessation of these roots. He was now fully prepared to articulate these profound insights into the foundational principles of his teaching. As the night approached its third watch, Siddhartha's mind, now fully illuminated by the understanding of karma and rebirth, turned to the very core of his quest, the nature of suffering and its cessation. He was on the verge of discovering the Four Noble Truths, the fundamental framework of his entire teaching, beginning with the profound insight into dukkha itself, the universal truth of suffering that he had witnessed throughout his journey. The third watch of the night, the Four Noble Truths, dukkha. As the third watch of the night began, the deepest insights unfolded within Siddhartha's awakened mind. Having seen the vast expanse of past lives and the intricate workings of karma, his awareness now penetrated the very essence of suffering, dukkha. This was not merely physical pain or emotional distress, though it included these. Dukkha, he realized, was a profound sense of unsatisfactoriness, an inherent unease and dis-ease that permeated all conditioned existence. It was the fundamental truth that life, as we ordinarily experience it, is pervaded by suffering, a truth often overlooked in the pursuit of fleeting pleasures and temporary comforts. Siddhartha saw, with absolute clarity, that birth itself is dukkha, for it immediately initiates the cycle of aging, sickness, and death, which are undeniably forms of suffering. He understood that to be born into this world is to be born into a state of impermanence, anicca, where everything is constantly changing, arising, and passing away. This inherent flux means that nothing can provide lasting satisfaction or security, leading to an underlying current of dissatisfaction, even in moments of joy. The joy itself is impermanent, and thus, its passing brings a subtle form of suffering, a yearning for what was. He saw that aging is dukkha. As the body inevitably weakens, faculties decline, and the vibrancy of youth fades. Sickness is dukkha, bringing pain, discomfort, and a stark reminder of the body's fragility. Death is dukkha, the ultimate separation from all that is dear, the end of an identity, the profound loss that all beings must face. These are the undeniable realities of existence, universal experiences that no one can escape, regardless of wealth, status, or power. He had witnessed these truths in the four sights and now understood them on a deeply experiential level, free from intellectualization. Furthermore, Siddhartha realized that dukkha also manifests in more subtle, psychological forms. Separation from what is loved is dukkha, bringing grief, loneliness, and a sense of void. Association with what is disliked is dukkha, causing irritation, aversion, and mental anguish. Not getting what one wants is dukkha, leading to frustration, disappointment, and a sense of lack, fueled by trishna, the thirst for things to be other than they are. Even getting what one wants can be dukkha, as the pleasure is fleeting, and the attachment to it inevitably leads to suffering when it changes or is lost. The deepest insight into dukkha was the realization that clinging to the five aggregates of existence, form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness, is suffering. These aggregates, which we mistakenly identify as self, are impermanent, anicca, and subject to change. Clinging to them as a permanent I or mine is the root of psychological dukkha, as they are constantly in flux and cannot provide a stable foundation for happiness. This profound understanding of anatta, no self, revealed the ultimate source of dissatisfaction in conditioned existence. This comprehensive understanding of dukkha was not a pessimistic view of life, but a clear, realistic appraisal of the human condition. It was the first step towards liberation, for only by truly acknowledging the nature of suffering can one begin to seek its cessation, nirodha. Siddhartha saw that until this fundamental truth is fully grasped, beings will continue to chase fleeting pleasures and avoid inevitable pains, perpetually caught in the cycle of craving, tanha, and dissatisfaction. All conditioned phenomena are dukkha, he realized, encompassing everything from the grandest cosmic events to the smallest personal experiences. This was a radical insight, challenging the conventional human tendency to seek permanent happiness in impermanent things. He understood that true peace interior, a profound sense of contentamento, could only arise from seeing things as they truly are, without illusion or denial, cultivating a deep sense of acceptance and saltar, letting go. This first noble truth, the truth of dukkha, laid the groundwork for the subsequent truths. It was the diagnosis of the human condition, a clear statement of the problem that needed to be addressed. Without this clear diagnosis, any attempt at a cure would be misguided and ultimately futile. Siddhartha's mind, illuminated by this profound insight, was now ready to penetrate the origin of this suffering, to understand why dukkha arises in the first place, moving to the second noble truth. The third watch of the night, the Four Noble Truths, samudaya. Having fully understood the pervasive nature of dukkha, suffering, Siddhartha's mind penetrated even deeper into the heart of reality during the third watch of the night. He now clearly perceived the origin of this suffering, the second noble truth, samudaya. He realized that dukkha does not arise randomly or without cause. It springs directly from craving, tanha, and thirst, trishna. This was a profound insight, revealing that the root cause of dissatisfaction and the endless cycle of rebirth, karma, lies within the mind's own grasping and attachment to phenomena. He saw how this insatiable craving perpetuates the cycle of existence, binding beings to suffering. Siddhartha understood that tanha manifests in three primary forms, each contributing to dukkha. First, there is craving for sensual pleasures, kama tanha. This is the desire for delightful sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and touches, the relentless pursuit of gratification through the senses. he saw how people endlessly chase these fleeting pleasures, only to find that their satisfaction is temporary, inevitably leading to further craving and dissatisfaction when the pleasure fades or is lost. This constant pursuit, he realized, is a primary driver of suffering, as it binds one to the impermanent, anicca, and ultimately unsatisfying nature of the external world. Second, there is craving for existence, bhavatanha. This is the desire to be, to continue existing, to perpetuate one's identity, and to experience more. It is the deep-seated urge for continuity, for becoming, for a permanent self, anatta, that continually seeks to assert itself. This craving fuels the cycle of rebirth, as beings cling to the idea of a self that must continue, leading to further existences filled with aging, sickness, and death. Siddhartha saw how this attachment to being, this clinging to a fixed identity, was a profound source of dukkha, as it denied the truth of impermanence and no self. Third, there is craving for non-existence, vibhava tanha. This is the desire to cease to be, to annihilate oneself, to escape from suffering by wishing not to exist. It manifests as a desire for oblivion, an aversion to life's pains, or a longing for an end to consciousness. Siddhartha realized that this too is a form of craving, a reactive attachment to the idea of non-being, and thus still binds one to the cycle of dukkha. True liberation, he understood, was not annihilation, but a transcendence of both existence and non-existence, a profound state of no apego, non-attachment to either extreme. He saw how these three forms of craving, tanha, are the driving forces behind all unwholesome actions and the accumulation of negative karma. They are the psychological roots that perpetuate the cycle of dukkha, binding beings to the wheel of suffering. This profound insight revealed that the problem of suffering is not external, but internal, residing in the mind's own patterns of grasping and clinging. It is not the external world that causes suffering, but our attachment to it, our trishna for it to be other than it is. Siddhartha realized that the relentless pursuit of these cravings, whether for pleasure, existence, or non-existence, creates a perpetual state of dissatisfaction. No matter how much one acquires or how much one tries to escape, the underlying thirst remains, always seeking more, always feeling a sense of lack. This constant striving, this endless cycle of seeking and grasping, is the very essence of dukkha, preventing the experience of peace interior and true contentamento. This understanding of samudaya, the origin of suffering, was a crucial step towards liberation. It pinpointed the exact cause, allowing for a precise and effective remedy. Without identifying the root cause of a disease, a cure remains impossible. Siddhartha's wisdom, prajna, now clearly illuminated the internal mechanisms that keep beings trapped in suffering, reinforcing the need for mindfulness, sati, and self-awareness to observe and ultimately release these cravings. It is this craving which leads to renewed existence, accompanied by delight and lust, seeking delight here and there. That is, craving for sensual pleasures, craving for existence, craving for non-existence, he realized with profound clarity. This insight laid bare the fundamental truth that all suffering arises from attachment and grasping, and that true freedom lies in letting go, soltar, of these pervasive cravings. This profound insight into the origin of suffering prepared Siddhartha's mind for the next logical step, understanding that if suffering has a cause, then by eliminating that cause, suffering can cease. He was now ready to penetrate the third noble truth, the cessation of dukkha, the ultimate goal of his quest, the realization of nirvana, a state of profound peace and liberation from all forms of craving and dissatisfaction, the third watch of the night, the Four Noble Truths, Nirodha. With the understanding of dukkha and its origin, samudaya, firmly established in his awakened mind, Siddhartha moved to the profound realization of the third noble truth during the third watch of the night, Nirodha, the cessation of suffering. He saw, with absolute clarity, that if suffering arises from craving, tanha, then by completely eradicating that craving, suffering can cease. This was the ultimate insight, the profound truth that liberation, nirvana, is not merely a theoretical concept, but an attainable state of profound peace, freedom, and the complete absence of dukkha. Nirodha is the complete unbinding from craving, the extinguishing of the flames of desire, attachment, and ignorance. It is the utter cessation of trishna, the thirst that propels beings through the cycle of rebirth, karma. Siddhartha realized that this cessation is not a mere suppression of desires, but a fundamental transformation of the mind, a liberation from the very impulse to grasp and cling. It is a state where the mind is utterly free from the defilements of greed, hatred, and delusion, resting in its nature original, the mente Buddha. This cessation of suffering, he understood, is nirvana. Nirvana is not a place or a heaven, but a state of being, a profound experience of freedom interior. It is the unconditioned reality, beyond birth and death, beyond suffering and its causes. It is the profound peace that arises when all forms of attachment, no apego, have been relinquished, when the illusion of a separate self, anatta, has dissolved, and the mind rests in the boundless clarity of vacuity, sunyata. This is the ultimate goal, the complete liberation from samsara. Siddhartha saw that nirvana is characterized by profound peace, serenity, and imperturbability. It is a state of perfect equanimity, where the mind is no longer swayed by the ups and downs of life, by gain or loss, praise or blame, pleasure or pain. It is a state of complete contentamento, a profound sense of sufficiency that requires nothing external to complete it. In this state, the relentless striving ceases, and the mind rests in its natural untroubled state, free from the burdens of craving and dissatisfaction. The path to Nirodha involves the complete letting go, saltar, of all attachments. This means releasing not only the craving for sensual pleasures, but also the craving for existence and non-existence. It is a radical act of surrender, a willingness to relinquish all clinging to phenomena, recognizing their impermanent, anicca, and no-self, anatta, nature. This complete release brings about a profound sense of freedom and lightness, a liberation from the heavy chains of dukkha. This insight was the beacon of hope that Siddhartha had been seeking for so long. It confirmed that suffering is not an inherent, unavoidable aspect of existence, but a condition that can be overcome. The path to liberation was clear: identify the cause of suffering, and then work to eliminate that cause. This realization filled him with immense joy and a profound sense of purpose, knowing that he had discovered the ultimate truth that could free all beings. The cessation of that same craving, by the complete fading away and cessation of that craving, its forsaking, its relinquishment, its release, its non-attachment, he realized, describing the very essence of Nirodha. This was the ultimate medicine for the disease of dukkha, the profound remedy that he had sought through all his years of seeking and austerity. It was the absolute end of the cycle of suffering, a state of profound and lasting peace. This profound understanding of Nirodha, the cessation of suffering, was the direct result of his deep meditation, samadhi, and penetrating wisdom, prajna. He had moved beyond mere intellectual comprehension to a direct, experiential realization of this ultimate truth. His mind was now utterly clear, unclouded by any trace of ignorance or delusion, fully awakened to the possibility of complete liberation. The realization of Nirodha provided the ultimate answer to his quest. It was the profound truth that not only is suffering real and does it have a cause, but it also has an end. This was the ultimate promise of the Dharma, the profound possibility of freedom for all beings. With this truth firmly established in his mind, he was now ready to articulate the practical path that leads to this cessation, the fourth noble truth, Magga. The third watch of the night, the four noble truths, Magga. With the profound understanding of dukkha, its origin, samudaya, and its cessation, Nirodha, firmly established in his awakened mind, Siddhartha now turned to the fourth and final noble truth during the third watch of the night, Magga, the path to the cessation of suffering. He realized that the cessation of craving, tanha, and the attainment of nirvana was not a matter of chance or mere wishful thinking, but the direct result of following a practical, systematic path. This path, known as the Noble Eightfold Path, or Octuplo Sendero, was the practical guide, the Dharma, that would lead all beings from suffering to liberation, a comprehensive framework for ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom. The Noble Eightfold Path is a balanced approach, a middle way that avoids the extremes of both self-indulgence and self-mortification, reflecting Siddhartha's earlier profound insight. It is divided into three main categories: wisdom, prajna, ethical conduct, sila, and mental concentration, samadhi. Each aspect of the path is interconnected and mutually supportive, forming a holistic approach to spiritual development. Siddhartha understood that this path was not a linear progression, but a continuous cultivation of all 8 factors, each reinforcing the others, leading to a profound transformation of mind and heart, fostering a deep sense of peace interior. The first 2 factors belong to the wisdom category, prajna. Right understanding, or right view, involves comprehending the 4 noble truths and the nature of reality as impermanent, anicca, unsatisfactory, dukkha, and without a permanent self, anatta. It is seeing things as they truly are, free from illusion and delusion. Right thought, or right intention, involves cultivating thoughts of renunciation, goodwill, metta, and harmlessness, karuna. It is about aligning one's intentions with the path of liberation, freeing the mind from thoughts driven by craving, aversion, and ill will, thereby purifying the seeds of karma. The next 3 factors comprise ethical conduct, sila. Right speech involves abstaining from lying, divisive speech, harsh speech, and idle chatter. Instead, it encourages truthful, kind, unifying, and meaningful communication. Right action involves abstaining from killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. It is about engaging in actions that are wholesome and do not cause harm to oneself or others. Right livelihood involves earning one's living in a way that does not cause harm to others, avoiding occupations that exploit or injure living beings. These ethical guidelines provide a moral foundation for practice, ensuring that one's actions align with the path of compassion and wisdom, fostering a sense of contentamento. The final three factors relate to mental concentration, samadhi. Right effort involves diligently working to prevent unwholesome states from arising, abandoning those that have arisen, encouraging wholesome states to arise, and maintaining those that have arisen. It is a continuous, mindful exertion of energy towards purification and cultivation. Right mindfulness, sati, involves maintaining a clear awareness of the body, feelings, mind, and mental phenomena. It is the practice of presence plena, observing all experiences without judgment or attachment, cultivating a deep sense of observation ekaname, vipassana. Finally, right concentration, samadhi, involves developing deep states of meditative absorption, leading to a one-pointedness of mind. This allows for profound insight and the direct experience of ultimate reality. Through these practices, the mind becomes calm, clear, and stable, creating the perfect conditions for the arising of wisdom, prajna, and the complete cessation of suffering, nirodha. It is the cultivation of a steady, unwavering attention that penetrates the true nature of phenomena, revealing their vacuity, sunyata. Siddhartha realized that the Noble Eightfold Path is not a set of rigid rules, but a practical guide for transformation, a process of gradual cultivation and refinement. Each factor supports the others, creating a synergistic effect that leads to profound inner liberation. It is a path of continuous learning, growth, and the development of self-awareness, allowing one to gradually let go, soltar, of attachments and delusions, fostering freedom interior. This is the noble truth of the way leading to the cessation of suffering. It is this noble eightfold path, he realized with profound certainty. This was the practical blueprint for awakening, the universal Dharma that could guide all beings to the ultimate peace of nirvana. It was a path accessible to anyone willing to undertake the journey with diligence, compassion, and unwavering resolve, regardless of their background or circumstances. This comprehensive understanding of the Magga, the path to liberation, completed Siddhartha's realization of the Four Noble Truths. He had seen the problem, identified its cause, understood its cessation, and now possessed the practical method to achieve that cessation. His mind was now fully illuminated, having penetrated the very core of existence and the means to transcend suffering. He was on the precipice of complete and perfect enlightenment, ready to embody the deepest truths of impermanence and no-self. As the night progressed towards dawn, Siddhartha's insights deepened even further, moving beyond the framework of the Four Noble Truths to a direct, experiential realization of anicca and anatta. He was about to fully embody the profound understanding that all phenomena are impermanent and without a fixed, independent self, dissolving the final vestiges of illusion and grasping, leading to a state of profound peace and ultimate freedom. The dawn of enlightenment, anicca and anatta, deepened. As the night began to wane and the first faint light of dawn touched the eastern horizon, Siddhartha's insights deepened to their ultimate conclusion. Having fully comprehended the Four Noble Truths, his mind now penetrated the very essence of existence, experiencing directly the profound truths of anicca, impermanence, and anatta, no self. These were not mere intellectual concepts, but lived realities, experienced at the deepest level of his being, dissolving the final vestiges of illusion and revealing the ultimate nature of reality. He saw with crystalline clarity that all phenomena are in a constant state of flux, and that there is no fixed, unchanging self to be found within this ceaseless flow, he realized that everything, absolutely everything, is impermanent anicca. The body, feelings, perceptions, mental formations and consciousness, the five aggregates of existence, are constantly arising, changing, and passing away. There is nothing static, nothing solid, nothing that endures eternally. The vibrant green leaves of the Bodhi tree would eventually wither and fall. The serene river would continue its ceaseless flow, and even the mountains would erode over eons. This profound insight liberated him from the illusion of permanence, from the futile attempt to cling to what is constantly changing. He saw that clinging to the impermanent is the very essence of dukkha, suffering. Simultaneously, he experienced the profound truth of anatta, no self. He realized that there is no permanent, unchanging, independent self or soul that resides within the aggregates. What we perceive as self is merely a collection of these impermanent, interdependent phenomena, constantly interacting and changing. There is no core I that exists separately from these processes. This was not an annihilation of identity, but a liberation from the illusion of a fixed, separate self. He saw that the notion of a permanent self is a mental construct, a source of grasping, tanha, and therefore dukkha, perpetuating the cycle of karma. This direct, experiential realization of anicca and anatta shattered the final vestiges of his identification with a separate self. He understood that clinging to the idea of a fixed I or mine is the fundamental source of suffering. When there is no permanent self to defend, no fixed identity to protect, then fear, attachment, and craving lose their power. This profound insight brought about a radical freedom, a liberation from the heavy burden of ego and self-concern, allowing his mind to rest in the boundless clarity of vacuity, sunyata. He saw that all phenomena, including the self, are empty of inherent, independent existence. They arise dependently, interdependently, from a web of causes and conditions. This understanding of vacuity, sunyata, was not a void of nothingness, but a profound openness, a boundless interconnectedness where all things are intimately related, yet ultimately without fixed essence. This insight dissolved all dualities, all separations, revealing the seamless unity of all existence, fostering a deep sense of peace, interior, and equanimity. The realization of anicca and anatta was the ultimate key to unlocking the chains of dukkha. When one truly sees the impermanent, no-self nature of all phenomena, the mind naturally releases its grip. There is nothing to cling to, no self to suffer, no mine to lose. This profound letting go, soltar, brings about a state of profound liberation, a complete cessation of craving trishna, and a boundless freedom from the cycle of suffering leading directly to nirvana. This was the culmination of his wisdom, prajna, developed through years of ethical conduct, sila, and deep concentration, samadhi. His mind was utterly clear, like a perfectly polished mirror reflecting reality as it truly is, without distortion or illusion. He saw the world with the fresh eyes of a beginner, shoshin, perceiving each moment in its raw, unconditioned purity, free from the conceptual overlays of a fixed self or permanent existence. The dawn light slowly brightened, illuminating the world with a gentle glow. For Siddhartha, this external light mirrored the profound inner illumination that had just occurred. He was no longer merely a seeker, he was an awakened one, a Buddha, one who had fully seen and understood the ultimate nature of reality. His mind was now the mente Buddha, his true nature original fully manifest, boundless and free. All formations are impermanent, he realized. All formations are dukkha, all phenomena are without self. These fundamental truths, experienced directly, dissolved the final barriers to his complete liberation. He had penetrated the very core of existence, understanding the profound interconnectedness of all things and the ultimate freedom that arises from releasing the illusion of a separate self. This profound and liberating insight into anicca and anatta brought him to the very threshold of ultimate awakening. The understanding of these truths was not merely intellectual assent, but a complete and total transformation of his being, paving the way for the profound peace and boundless wisdom that would now unfold. He was about to experience the culmination of deep concentration and wisdom, the unfolding of samadhi and prajna in their most perfect form, leading to the radiant clarity of ultimate reality. The profound peace. Samadhi and prajna unfold. As the first rays of the sun pierce through the leaves of the Bodhi tree, illuminating the world with a golden glow, Siddhartha's mind entered the deepest realms of peace and clarity. This was the culmination of his long journey, the perfect intertwining of samadhi, profound concentration, and prajna, liberating wisdom. His mind was utterly still, like a vast, placid ocean, unruffled by any breeze of thought or emotion. All defilements, greed, hatred, and delusion had been completely extinguished, leaving behind a radiant emptiness, a boundless awareness that was pure, luminous, and utterly free. This was the profound peace interior, the ultimate contentamento he had sought. In this state of perfect samadhi, his concentration was unwavering, one-pointed, and utterly imperturbable. Every fiber of his being was present, fully immersed in the unconditioned reality. This was not a trance state or an escape from reality, but a direct, unmediated experience of reality as it truly is, free from the distortions of ego and conceptual thought. The mind was clear, like a cloudless sky, allowing for the direct perception of the Dharma, the universal truth. He experienced a profound sense of equanimity, a balanced mind utterly unaffected by the arising and passing of any phenomena, embracing the flow natural of existence. From this profound concentration, wisdom, prajna, unfolded spontaneously and effortlessly. He saw the interconnectedness of all phenomena, the intricate dance of cause and effect, karma that weaves the fabric of existence. He understood that there was no inherent separation between himself and the world, no fixed boundaries, only a seamless, interdependent flow. This was the direct experience of vacuity, sunyata, not as an absence of things, but as the absence of inherent, independent existence in all things, revealing their profound emptiness and boundless potential. His mind was fully awake, embodying the mente Buddha. The insights of anicca, impermanence, and anatta, no self, were no longer intellectual understandings, but living realities. He experienced with every breath the constant arising and passing of all phenomena, knowing that nothing endures, nothing is truly mine. This complete letting go, soltar, of all clinging, of all trishna, brought an indescribable lightness, a liberation from the heavy burden of attachment and craving, tanha. He was utterly free, unburdened by the past, unconcerned with the future, fully present in the eternal now, experiencing a profound freedom interior. His awareness was boundless, encompassing all time and space, yet rooted firmly in the present moment, a perfect balance of vastness and particularity. He saw the suffering of all beings, dukkha, with boundless compassion, karuna, yet remained perfectly undisturbed, understanding the root causes and the path to liberation. His loving kindness, metta, extended to every corner of existence, a radiating warmth that touched all beings without discrimination. This was the heart of a bodhisattva, awakened not just for himself, but for the benefit of all. In this state, the concepts of I and mine completely dissolved. There was no longer a separate self-observing reality. There was only reality observing itself. This was the experience of no mind, mushin, a mind utterly free from conceptual elaborations, resting in its true nature original. The boundaries between subject and object, meditator and meditation, completely merged, revealing the seamless unity of all existence. This was the ultimate experience of non-duality, a profound and liberating truth. The radiant clarity of ultimate reality filled his being. It was a clarity that transcended all words and concepts, a direct knowing that illuminated every aspect of existence. He saw the Dharma, the universal truth, not as something to be learned or acquired, but as the very nature of reality itself, always present, always accessible. His mind was fully aligned with this truth, a perfect mirror reflecting the unconditioned. This profound peace was not a temporary state of bliss, but an enduring, unshakable liberation. It was the experience of nirvana, the extinguishing of the flames of greed, hatred, and delusion, the complete cessation of suffering, nirodha. He had reached the other shore, transcending the ocean of samsara, and now rested in the boundless freedom of the unconditioned. This was the ultimate realization, the supreme and absolute enlightenment he had vowed to attain. This culmination of samadhi and prajna was the final step in his awakening. He had not only understood the path intellectually, but had embodied it fully, becoming the living embodiment of the Dharma. His entire being resonated with the profound peace and wisdom of an awakened one, ready to share this boundless truth with the world, out of immense compassion for all who suffered. As the sun rose higher, casting its full light upon the world, Siddhartha remained in his seat, utterly transformed. He was no longer Prince Siddhartha, nor merely an ascetic seeker. He was now the Buddha, the fully awakened one, a beacon of wisdom and compassion for all beings. The Buddha's awakening, the fully awakened one. As the morning sun ascended, painting the sky with brilliant hues, Siddhartha Gautama emerged from his profound meditation, utterly transformed. He was no longer merely a prince who had renounced his kingdom, nor an ascetic who had sought truth through extremes. He was the Buddha, the awakened one, or enlightened one who had fully penetrated the ultimate nature of reality and liberated himself from the cycle of suffering, dukkha. His mind, once clouded by ignorance and craving, tanha, was now boundless, luminous, and utterly free, embodying the profound peace interior he had tirelessly sought. The moment of his complete and perfect enlightenment was not a sudden burst of light, but a profound, irreversible shift in perception. It was the full realization of the Four Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path, and the deep experiential understanding of anicca, impermanence, and anatta, no self. He saw with absolute clarity that all phenomena are conditioned, interdependent, and without inherent independent existence, a profound insight into vacuity, sunyata. This complete understanding dissolved the final vestiges of illusion, attachment, and ego, leaving behind a mind that was perfectly clear, compassionate, and wise. He had fully realized the mente Buddha, the true nature original of mind, which is inherently pure, luminous, and boundless. This was not a special mind, but the mind freed from all defilements, from all conceptual overlays and grasping. He understood that this awakened nature is present in all beings, obscured only by ignorance and craving. His own awakening was a testament to the potential for all sentient beings to realize this inherent wisdom, prajna, and compassion within themselves, fostering a deep sense of self-knowledge and self-compassion, karuna. A boundless compassion metta arose spontaneously from his profound wisdom. Having experienced the depths of suffering and the path to its cessation, his heart was filled with an immeasurable loving kindness for all beings caught in the cycle of samsara. He saw their struggles, their cravings, their attachments, and their dukkha, not with judgment, but with a deep empathetic understanding. This compassion was not an emotion, but a fundamental aspect of his awakened being, an inherent desire to share the Dharma, the path to liberation, with all who were ready to listen. The Buddha's awakening was a profound moment in human history, marking the emergence of a living embodiment of ultimate truth. He had demonstrated that liberation from suffering is possible through human effort, through diligent practice, ethical conduct, sila, and the cultivation of wisdom, prajna. He was no longer seeking. He was the embodiment of what he had sought. His presence radiated a profound peace, a quiet strength, and an unwavering clarity that touched all who came near him. He was now the Tathagata, meaning one who has thus come, or one who has thus gone, signifying his complete alignment with ultimate reality. His mind was utterly free from Trishna, the thirst that binds, and he rested in the profound peace of nirvana, the complete cessation of suffering. This state was beyond all dualities, beyond all concepts, a direct, unmediated experience of the unconditioned, a profound sense of contentamento and sufficiency. The Bodhi tree, under which he had attained this supreme awakening, became a sacred symbol of enlightenment, a reminder of the potential for all beings to awaken to their true nature. The gentle rustling of its leaves seemed to whisper the timeless truths he had realized: impermanence, no self, and the path to liberation. He remained under its shade for some time, savoring the profound bliss of his newly found freedom, integrating the vastness of his insights. His awakening was not an end, but a beginning. It was the beginning of his life as a teacher, a guide who would illuminate the path for countless others. He had found the ultimate freedom, the cessation of dukkha, and now, out of boundless karuna, he was ready to share this precious Dharma with the world. He had walked the path, faced the challenges, and emerged as a living testament to the possibility of human transformation, embodying the ultimate freedom interior. Profound indeed is this Dharma that I have attained. Hard to see, hard to comprehend, peaceful and sublime, not to be grasped by mere reasoning, subtle to be experienced by the wise, he reflected, contemplating the depth of his realization. This profound wisdom, prajna, was now his to share, a gift to humanity, a clear path out of suffering. Having fully awakened, the Buddha remained in the vicinity of the Bodhi tree for several weeks, immersing himself in the profound bliss of his liberation. He contemplated the depth of the Dharma he had realized, questioning whether it was too profound, too subtle, for ordinary beings to grasp. This period of reflection and integration was crucial before he would make the momentous decision to share his teachings, extending his boundless compassion to all who sought release from the cycle of dukkha. The aftermath. 7 weeks of bliss and reflection. Following his supreme awakening under the Bodhi tree, the Buddha remained in the vicinity for 7 weeks, immersing himself in the profound bliss of liberation, nirvana. Each week was spent in a different location near the sacred tree, contemplating the depth of the Dharma he had realized. This period was not one of inactivity, but of deep integration, allowing his mind and body to fully absorb the vastness of his insights. He savored the freedom from dukkha, the complete cessation of craving, tanha, and the boundless peace interior that now permeated his entire being. This profound contentamento was a testament to his successful quest for the ultimate truth. During the first week, he sat under the Bodhi tree itself, experiencing the joy of deliverance. His mind was utterly still, luminous, and filled with a profound sense of equanimity. He reflected on the intricate chain of dependent origination, understanding how ignorance leads to craving, and craving leads to suffering, and how by breaking this chain, liberation is achieved. This deep contemplation solidified his understanding of karma and the impermanence, anicca, of all conditioned phenomena, reinforcing the truth of vacuity, sunyata, and the absence of a fixed self, anatta. In the second week, he moved to a spot where he gazed unblinkingly at the Bodhi tree, expressing his gratitude for the shelter and inspiration it had provided during his awakening. This act of quiet appreciation underscored the importance of gratitude and reverence for all aspects of life, even inanimate objects, recognizing their role in the unfolding of the Dharma. His stillness and unwavering gaze were a powerful demonstration of his profound presence plena, mindfulness, and his deep connection to the natural world around him, embodying a sense of sufficiency in the simple act of being. The third week found him pacing back and forth on a golden platform created by his own mind near the Bodhi tree. This meditative walking, known as kankama, allowed him to integrate his insights with movement, demonstrating that awareness and wisdom, prajna, are not limited to sitting meditation but can permeate all activities. He continued to reflect on the profound truths he had discovered, his mind effortlessly recalling the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, ensuring that his understanding was complete and fully embodied. During the fourth week, he meditated in a jeweled house, a metaphorical dwelling of his own enlightened mind, where he reviewed the Abhidharma, the highest teachings of the Buddhist philosophy. This profound contemplation allowed him to systematically organize and solidify the intricate details of the Dharma, preparing it for future exposition. His mind, clear and sharp, delved into the subtle nuances of reality, ensuring that his teachings would be comprehensive and deeply rooted in direct experience, free from any lingering delusions or trishna. The fifth week was spent under the Ajapala Nigrodha tree, where Mara, the Lord of Illusion, once again approached him, attempting to tempt him with thoughts of ruling the world as a universal monarch. The Buddha, with a gentle smile, recognized Mara's persistence, but remained completely unperturbed. He gently reminded Mara that he was now free from all craving, tanha, and had no interest in worldly power. This final encounter with Mara reaffirmed his complete liberation and his unwavering commitment to the path of no apego, non-attachment. It was during these weeks that a profound question arose in his mind. Was the Dharma he had realized too profound, too subtle for ordinary beings to grasp? He contemplated whether to teach it at all, fearing that his profound insights into anicca, anatta, and vacuity might be misunderstood or rejected by a world deeply entrenched in ignorance and attachment. This moment of hesitation, born of immense karuna, compassion, was a testament to the depth of his realization and his concern for the suffering of others. The story goes that Brahma Sahampati, a powerful deity, descended from the heavens and implored the Buddha to teach the Dharma. He explained that there were beings with little dust in their eyes who would be able to understand and benefit from his teachings, beings ready for the path to freedom interior. This divine intervention, a symbolic representation of the universal call for awakening, encouraged the Buddha to make the momentous decision to share his profound wisdom with the world, extending his boundless metta to all sentient beings. This period of reflection and contemplation was crucial for the Buddha to fully integrate his enlightenment and to prepare himself for his mission as a teacher. It allowed him to refine his understanding of the Dharma, to organize it into a coherent framework, and to solidify his resolve to share this precious gift with humanity. He had moved from personal liberation to a profound commitment to the liberation of all, embodying the ultimate bodhisattva vow. And so, with his wisdom fully integrated, his compassion boundless, and his resolve firm, the Buddha rose from his seat under the Bodhi tree. He was now ready to embark on his mission, to turn the wheel of Dharma, and to illuminate the path for countless beings seeking release from suffering. His journey, from prince to pauper to the fully awakened one, was complete, and a new chapter, that of a world teacher, was about to begin, leading us to our final moment of reflection and rest. As our journey through the profound story of the Buddha's enlightenment draws to a close, allow your awareness to gently return to your own body, to the quiet space you occupy right now. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your breath, an anchor in this present moment. Notice the sensation of your body resting, supported, and at ease. There is nothing more you need to do, nothing more you need to achieve. You are here, in this moment, and that is profoundly sufficient. This narrative of Siddhartha's quest for truth, his encounter with dukkha, his triumph over Mara's illusions, and his ultimate awakening, offers a timeless map for our own inner landscape. It reminds us that true liberation, true peace interior, is not found in external circumstances, but within the depths of our own awakened hearts. The wisdom of anicca, impermanence, and anatta, no self, invites us to release our grip on what is fleeting, to let go, soltar, of the attachments that create suffering, trishna. As you prepare to transition into deep, restorative sleep, carry with you the gentle understanding that the seeds of awakening, the Mente Buddha, reside within you always. You already possess the capacity for profound peace, for boundless compassion, metta, and for clear wisdom, prajna. There is no need to strive or force. Simply allow yourself to rest in this inherent knowing, in this state of contentamento and sufficiency. Let your breath be a soft lullaby, guiding you deeper into relaxation. Imagine your mind as a clear, tranquil lake, reflecting the serenity of the night sky, unruffled by any ripples of thought or concern. Release any lingering tensions from your body, any worries from your mind. You are safe, you are held, and you are deeply worthy of this profound rest. This space, these words, are here for you whenever you need to return to this sanctuary of peace. If this journey has resonated with something deep within your spirit, and you wish to keep this harbor of tranquility close, please consider subscribing to ensure you can easily find this space again. Your presence here helps sustain this quiet corner for all who seek solace. Now, with a heart full of gratitude for this shared moment of contemplation, allow yourself to drift into a peaceful slumber. Trust in the natural flow of your body's wisdom, in the profound wonder of simply allowing yourself to rest. May your sleep be deep, your dreams be gentle, and may you awaken refreshed, renewed, and reconnected to the peace that dwells eternally within you. Good night.